Hey guys, and welcome back to our video series To Mulligan or To Not Mulligan, where we practice our mulligans for our starting hand. And today we are going to be working with the new Rise of the Floodborn Amethyst-Steel Deck. And so if you're not familiar with this deck list, we will pop it up on the screen here really quick for you to look at. And then before we get started though, do you want to make any comments about this deck, how it runs, what we're looking for?
Yeah, so this is just the starter deck, so it is just not going to be a super consistent deck because there's not four of all the most important and best cards. So when we're doing these mulligans, and it'll be a lot of the same for the next starter deck we do as well, we're just trying to have some powerful cards, maybe Fox, Madam Mim, or Tiana, but we're really just trying to make sure we have enough inkables and a good curve so that we can actually play the game in the early turns well into the late turns.
All right, good deal. All right, ready?
All right, let's do the first one.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we have Mouse Armor, I'm Stuck, Dr. Facilier, Lilo, Madam Mim, and Hercules. So I'll get that out of the way here and we'll lay these all out. Did I say Merlin? Did I skip over that one?
No, I think you said Merlin.
Okay. Sorry, very unorganized here.
All right, so Dana, when you look at these 7, tell me your thoughts on it. What would you want to keep? What would you want to put back?
So initial reaction, we at least have a really low curve. But there are things that I would probably put back, such as probably the I'm Stuck.
Yep.
There's that Madam Mim that we were talking about, so I think we would keep that.
Yeah, we can keep that.
Or you said the Fox, so...
Well, I mean, I think this one is good just because for how cheap it is, it's a good body.
Okay, so keep that one? Okay. I'd probably put back the Merlin than Dr. Facilier, to be honest. Or maybe at least keep the Dr. Facilier.
Yeah, so I would probably put back the Mouse Armor. It's not inkable. It's not super flexible. If you're playing against more competitive decks, it's probably not very good. If you're in a Star Deck tournament, then it might be fine to keep. But if you're just bringing this to a league where you'll see some more competitive decks, I'd probably just throw it away. And beyond that, yeah, I agree. I would probably get rid of the Merlin and the Facilier as well. So we put those to the side. We draw 4 more.
So we would keep those.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. So we have Tiana, Merlin Crab, Big Kronk, and another snake. So already I'm thinking that since we have 2 snakes, we'd probably ink 1 on the first turn, right?
Probably. This actually worked out pretty well because Tiana is a good 1-drop for the Crab Merlin. So you can have your Tiana trade up into something efficiently. But it's also a good card to have when you have Madam Mim, so you can make sure you play this 3-cost character on turn 2. So having that flexibility depending on what your opponent's doing is going to be really important there. So I think that one ended up working out pretty solid.
Okay.
And then we also got Kronk, which is a rare. It's probably one of the better cards in the deck. So if your opponent is a little bit slower, you can keep that. If they're not, just ink it and it's fine.
Okay. So if you were on the play, what would be your first move? Ink one of the snakes, play Tiana?
I think it would probably be ink Kronk if we're on the play Tiana. If we're on the draw, then Well, it's still probably the same. The thing is that the snakes are really good when you have a character like Merlin to keep using its ability with. So, and of course, it also works with the other Merlins in the deck. So, this is probably just one of the better cards that you can have opening hand and in the late game.
Cool. All right. Putting that away.
I think we're going to do 5 of so were these. We're not going to do the same thing that we did last time where we're playing against specific matchups because these are just starter decks. They're not that powerful. But also, the metagame isn't quite solidified yet. There are some decks that we recognize that are pretty good, like the Ruby Amethyst kind of bounce aggressive decks and Ruby Steel song decks with like the flutes, but
You mean Amber?
yeah, sorry, Amber Steel song decks with flutes and the like. So, like those are the top decks currently, but we don't know if those are going to stay the top decks or exactly what the deck lists are going to look like when they're more polished.
For sure. All right, let's go number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, Merlin Goat, Prince Naveen, Merlin Shapeshifter, Beast, I'm Stuck, Lilo, and another Prince Naveen. I think I would personally put back one of the Prince Naveens, probably the I'm Stuck, probably Shapeshifter. I don't know. Do you agree so far?
I do agree so far.
Okay.
I think if this was my starting hand, I would want to put back everything but maybe one of the 3 drops, just so that you at least
Oh yeah, you want to try to get a
early
1
play.
or 2.
But I think we're really looking for a 1 or 2 cost character, and I think Beast is like a solid card in this deck, as well as the Merlin. So you don't really want to ink those cards early if you don't have to, just because they're probably going to play out as some of your better cards. So yeah, I would get rid of those 6 and draw a new 6 and see what we get.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Squirrel, Prince Eric, Tiana, Cinderella, another Prince, and Freeze.
All right, so we kind of did what we wanted to do. We got a bunch of 1 and 2 cost characters, and even depending on what we draw in the first 2 turns or what we're playing against, we have some characters that might be good in different matchups. If we're playing against a more controlled deck, then Merlin will let us, Merlin and Cinderella will help us maybe get rid of this freeze to find a better card. Well, Cinderella will help us get rid of the freeze. Merlin will just provide some selection. If we're going against the more aggressive deck, then we have Prince Eric to help slow them down. So we at least have a wide variety of 2 cost characters we can play there.
All right, so first turn if you're on the play. We'll do that first.
I would just ink one of the Prince Naveens, and I'd probably play Tiana.
Okay. And then on the draw, we would draw a Goat Merlin. Does that change anything? Still ink Naveen? Play Tiana?
I think we probably want a 3-drop, so if they just ink and pass, I'm pretty likely just to play Cinderella, because I kind of want to get rid of this freeze just because it's not the strongest card. So if we play Cinderella, draw a card, discard a card, probably discard the freeze, and now we have more flexibility as far as our 3-drops as well. If they play some kind of item, we can binge it. If not, then we can just play the stronger character in Prince Naveen on turn 3.
Okay. Good deal. All right. All right, so number 3.
Number 3, let's
2, 3,
go.
4, 5, 6, 7. Prince Naveen.
Oh, he's everywhere.
He is everywhere. The Prince, Rabbit, Chip, the Crab, the Snake, and Cusco Llama. I think I would keep Chip, keep I don't know. I think I would. Gosh, I feel like I would keep the prince. Maybe the snake, or put the rest back. Or?
I'm kind of inclined just to keep it all. To be honest.
Okay.
We have a pretty strong curve of 1 to 4, so the first turn we can just ink the Naveen and play Teacup if we want to, which we might because we have Merlin to pump it and to trade into like a Stitch Bodyguard. And then we also have a 2-drop that at least replaces itself.
Simba Bodyguard?
Yeah, Simba Bodyguard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Simba Bodyguard.
What?
Yeah. Then we have a 2-drop that can replace itself when it's banished, so it can get some Lauren, or you can challenge, get some chip into a character, draw your card back. And then you have a couple powerful 2-drops you have a powerful 2-drop in Madame Mim, a couple pretty strong 3-drops with the Prince and Merlin, and once you get to the point in the game where you're starting to bounce the 4-cost Merlin, you're doing really well because you're just going to keep cycling through, drawing more and more cards. So I would probably just keep this whole hand, hope to draw a few inkables, and just be on your way.
Okay. So on the play, ink the Prince Naveen, play chip. On the draw, we would probably do the same thing then. If we have to.
Yeah, the first one was freeze, and the second one was the Kazari Jewel.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, we had a strong curve. We had one of our best cards in the 4-cost Merlin and 3-cost Merlin. We had a Madame Mim to help recycle their abilities. So, yeah, I think that was one that was just safe to keep.
Not bad. All right. Number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh.
What we got?
A chip. Hey. Prince.
Ooh,
He is
underdog.
very present in our starting hands. Okay. Put back the armor.
Yep.
Honestly, I feel like he's not very good, so I would want to put him back. Unless we would want to just use him for ink.
Yeah, I don't know who's better between Lawrence and Lilo. I honestly think Lawrence might be better because when they challenge it the first time, he will survive and deal 4 damage most likely. So I kind of like Lawrence a little bit better than Lilo. I could see just putting back maybe these 3.
Okay.
Just because I think Lawrence is probably better than the Prince as well.
So you get the Prince.
And he just gets inked.
Or the Beast, the Prince, and Tiana.
Yep. So, depending on what you're playing against, you can ink Tiana or Chip. You might not need to play either one of them depending on what you're playing against, but at least you have that option on turn 1. And then on turn 2, Hey is probably one of the... It's not like an insanely powerful card, but it is a big annoyance. And
he's tiny but mighty.
He's an annoyance in these mid-range decks. And then we have some pretty powerful 4-cost characters as well.
Cool. All right, on to the last one.
Yeah. Hey might be a little bit of a sleeper. He seems like a way that can just kind of grind your aggressive opponents out in the sense that it can just keep trading into their cheaper stuff turn after turn, so I think that's really strong. But also against the control opponents, you can kind of just quest, and then they kill it with Maui, and then you play it again, and the next turn you quest, and it's like...
They would have to have it like a true removal, like Dragonfire, or Grab Your Sword, or Smash, or whatever. Like, they can't just use challenging characters.
Yeah,
so
they're really not gaining anywhere if they're using their Maui to just keep banishing it or whatever character they have. And if it's not good to play again, you think it'll just get banished to grab your swords, you can just ink it once it comes back. So some versatility there. All right, let's do our last one here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, Benja, Chip, Eli, another Chip, Merlin, and last Cannon. I feel like I would put back the last Cannon, unless you just want to use it for ink, to be honest.
Oh, that's all it's good for, so I don't really mind just keeping it, just to ink it on turn 1, just because it's not...
It's not a powerful card enough to...
It's not a powerful card, no.
play, so.
Like, you can just ink it that way, you don't have to draw it later when you would much rather draw a more powerful spell, more powerful card. I could see just throwing away Eli and hoping to get a better 3-cost character.
Anything else?
No, I think you can keep the rest.
Bam! 4 cost.
Well, you got a 4-cost character. You got Merlin. At least it's a powerful one. And you can play Benja on turn 3 if you need to. Even if there's not an item, at least it quests for something. It has an okay body, so I don't really mind that too much. But, yeah, you got a couple powerful 4-drops. And you can at least play 1, 2, 3 on your curve. So I like it.
All right, so on the play, ink last Cannon, play Chip.
Let me think. I think on the play, with this hand, since we are kind of 4-drop heavy, I would probably just ink the Cannon, not play the Chip. And then, actually, you know what? I might just ink the Chip and then not play anything. Then it comes back to your turn. So you draw a card. Yeah. Maybe I ink the Eli here and play the Hey.
Oh, you don't have Eli anymore.
Sorry, the Prince. I would ink the Prince and play Hey. Last Cannon is generally not a very strong card because you're using card disadvantage. You're using 2 of your cards to trade for 1 of theirs. That's usually not very good. But when you can combine it with Hey and the Hey comes back to your hand, then you end up even on cards. So you trade up for their character. Even though you use 2 cards, you get the Hey back to your hand. So the card economy is even for you. So that's why I didn't mind just keeping the last Cannon here, because you get the card back with Hey anyway in this hand.
And you had 2 chips anyway. So.
Yeah, we had 2 chips anyway, so it didn't really matter too much. So yeah, on the next turn, I'd probably ink Chip and then play Hey. And yeah. And then, if last Cannon's ever not really very good, you could just ink it. You're probably not losing a whole lot by inking a Chip anyway. So at least this gives you at least a little bit of versatility that Chip might not have given you with Hey specifically.
Cool. All right. Well, that concludes our Mulligan video for this starter deck. The next one, we are going to be doing the other starter deck, the Amber Sapphire. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you guys next time.
Have a good day, guys.